Yo, what is up, Royale gamers? I'm Dr. Tepper, and today I am going to go over how to play Mage in Royale Reforged. First things first, let me talk about the Mage's Fire Staff. No shade to the Ice Staff, it is a great weapon. It just doesn't pair well with the Mage build that I will be covering. The Fire Staff has high area of effect damage, or splash damage. This means that you can shoot either the floor or walls near your enemy, and get partial or even full damage. I highly recommend that you always shoot your enemy's feet when you are using the Fire Staff. If you miss when shooting at the player model, you will get 0 damage. But if you miss while shooting at their feet, you will likely end up getting partial damage from the splash effect. It is worth noting that you need to have some sort of high ground on your opponent, or be close enough to them that it is easy to shoot their feet. Another thing that the Fire Staff excels at is corner pressure. You can shoot the ground around corners that your enemies are using in order to get free damage and overall pressure in the fight. You can use this technique to create space, as you are zoning your enemies away from the corner, thereby making it impossible for them to shoot you without taking a hit. As far as a secondary weapon goes, I would suggest using a slug or revolver, just to have a consistent weapon that is easy to hit in any situation. Mage's only movement ability is Soar, so you need to always be using it for maximum value. When you end Soar, either try to be in the air above your opponents, or land on some sort of high ground, in order to give yourself the advantage in a fight. When you are soaring, you should be dodging shots with your crosshair movement, as it is easy to be hit while flying in a straight line. Alright, with the Mage weapon and signature movement out of the way, I can start going over the meta build. First, I'll go over the abilities involved, and the fundamental value that they provide. The first ability in this loadout is your Ice Block. Ice Block gives you full damage immunity and a small heal over time when you are in it. The important part is the invulnerability though, as it is the key to outplay any enemy that you encounter. The second combat ability that you should be looking for as a mage is Flask of Healing. It can heal up to 700 HP, which is more significant than it may seem, as it saves you from key breakpoints. For example, 4 shots with an enraged axe will chicken you, but if you heal yourself with Flask, you will live to see another day. Once you put these two abilities together along with Soar, you gain a lot of survivability and sustain. Now I will explain how this build matches up against the other classes and their common playstyles. First, let me go over Mage's matchup against Warrior. The most common ability used by Warriors is the Enrage. I'm gonna be honest, playing against Enrage can be very tricky as it does insane damage when paired with the throwing axe. So if you are ever fighting a Warrior, do not use your Ice Block until they use Enrage. You can stay in Ice Block for the entire duration of Enrage and save yourself from being absolutely shredded. In the cases where you do not have Ice Block available, as you can see here, you need to also be saving your Soar as a backup plan when fighting Warriors. Good Warrior players will attempt to bait out your Ice Block so that they can use Enrage afterward. Having Soar ready for instances like this is a must, and it allows you to disengage and wait for your cooldowns to come back up. As far as how to use Flask against Warriors, honestly, just use it once you see your green health bar take damage. Because as I said earlier, the heal from your Flask actually ruins the 4-axe breakpoint and makes you more survivable against Warriors. Another popular Warrior ability is Net Shot. Net Shot is very strong against mages, as it both cancels Soar and forces you to fall faster. Against Net Shot Warriors, you should Soar before you Ice Block in the fight. If you try and Soar after Ice Block, it is likely that you'll be caught out with no way to defend yourself. For the Mage versus Mage, I will mainly focus on the Ice Block Flask duel. With Fire Staff and Ice Block, Mage has the potential of cycling out 1600 damage without taking any damage in return if she plays her Ice Block correctly. The goal when you are fighting another mage is to not be hit by that damage cycle. The best way to do this, in my opinion, is to ice block after the other mage. If you time it correctly, you shouldn't be hit with her second shot, and you will also be coming out of ice block second. So you can wait to cancel for whenever their ice block time's out, or they cancel it themselves. Normally, I would never ever advise you to do this against any other class, but against the mage, since mage has no class, CC, or knock-up ability, you can absolutely soar to pursue other mages when they're flying away. And as far as how to use Flask, again, it's a pretty one-dimensional ability. Once you see your green health take some damage, feel free to pop your Flask whenever. Moving on to Assassin. Against Assassins, you need to be saving your Ice Block and Soar. So what you should be doing is getting as close as possible on just your mount when you're facing an Assassin player. The reason behind this is because Assassin's Concussion Grenade cooldown is so low. He can conk you twice for every 2 Soars and 2 Ice Blocks. So you need both of them in order to counter that conk. Another reason that you need to be very close to an Assassin is that you can see their red outline while they are invisible if you are close enough in proximity. Another big thing against Assassins is they usually tend to try to hit their snipe to initiate the fight. So using your Ice Block early to counter that is a very good play for the Mage versus Assassin duel. Finally, I will be going over how Mage pairs up against Hunter. The main goal for you when you are fighting a Hunter is to get your 1600 damage cycle off without a hitch. To do this, you need to get as close as possible on your mount, and use your Soar whenever the Hunter knocks you back with any of her abilities. Once you are in range, per se, and ready to use your Ice Block, you should make sure that you are starting your Ice Block right before the Hunter finishes her bow draw, so you block the first shot, and then immediately leave your Ice Block while she's drawing her second shot. It is also worth noting that the Hunter's proximity trap will still go off while you're in Ice Block, so you have a really good counterplay for whenever a Hunter throws one of those at your feet. And that's going to be it, Royale gamers. Thanks for watching.